Good evening, I'm Lori Tucker, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the Big 7 stories right now. And topping the list, a community unifying in remembrance of one of their own, Blount County Sheriff's Deputy Greg McCowan. 6 on Your Side reporter Molly O'Brien now with the touching tribute today to the fallen deputy.
A sea of blue earlier today at Sevier Heights Baptist Church as hundreds of people came to pay their respects to Blount County Sheriff's Deputy Greg McCowan. During his funeral service, several people speaking, including Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, who thanked Deputy McCowan's family for his service, as well as two of his friends, Billy Radford and Greg Willis. Deputy McCowan meeting both of them at his prior job. Willis describing Deputy McCowan as a caring and kind person.
Deployed, and he was one of the men that come to my house and took care of my 2 children, took care of my wife, watched after my home. I couldn't be there. He was one of the men that stepped in the gap for me. Whenever I needed somebody the most, I could call on him. And he'd always say, "Big homie, what do you need? What's going on? I'll be right there."
Blount County Sheriff James Lee Barong also speaking at the funeral, fighting back tears and thanking Deputy McCowan's family for his service. Procession taking place following the funeral service. It started here at Sevier Heights Baptist Church and then made its way down Alcoa Highway to Grandview Cemetery. In Knox County, Molly O'Brien, WATE 6 on Your Side.
And we have more now on that procession. Molly was talking about to the deputy's final resting place that followed. Outside the Blount County Justice Center, people paid their respects, lining up almost shoulder to shoulder, many waving flags, wearing blue, standing silent as the hearse went by.
When something like this happens in our community, we just want to do all that we can to support and respect the family and everyone here, because when something like this happens in our community, we all hurt, and we just want to show Officer McCowan's family that we are here for them and we appreciate everything that he has done for us, and his family is in our hearts and in our prayers.
As the procession made its way through Blount County, the community literally came to a standstill to pay tribute. The procession ended at Deputy McCowan's final resting place. 6 on Your Side's Don Dare was at Grandview Cemetery, where the deputy was buried with full police honors.
Grandview Cemetery is a large public cemetery here in Maryville, about 1.5 miles from the Blount County Sheriff's Department, where Deputy McCowan had been a patrol officer since 2020. It took more than half an hour for hundreds of motorcycles and police vehicles to make their way inside the cemetery. The service itself was private. Tim Chambers, his wife and family put up flags along Tuckaleechee Pike and had signs in support of fallen Deputy McCowan.
When I got the word Thursday night, it still hits home no matter what time you or how long you spend in the profession. It's still brotherhood, and you carry that weight on your shoulders.
So you not only have these flags up in respect of Deputy McCowan, but your kids are here too.
They are, sir. They, we've raised them to respect law enforcement and to show the men and women in blue their support and their respect, and they want to participate, and they've made signs and been really excited to support local law enforcement this time.
What have you told your kids about this?
Well, we're honest because we've had this discussion with them, obviously, because they've been raised up as a thin blue line family. And just told them really to pray, because it impacts the family for the rest of their lives. And it's just a horrible, sad tragedy.
The flyover of police helicopters was an emotional moment. Although a small part of the ceremony, it was one of the most sacred. The final moment was the last radio call for badge number 344.
This is the Blount County Communications Center, conducting a final call for Blount County Sheriff's Deputy Greg McCowan, badge number 344. Thank you for your service, 344. This is your final call.
And tonight, he is resting in peace. In Maryville, Don Dare, WATE 6 on Your Side.
Governor Lee ordered flags to be flown at half-staff to honor Deputy McCowan. He spoke at the funeral today, saying McCowan is a hero and a law enforcement official and a leader to all of us in Tennessee. You're looking at the state capitol there with those flags. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett honored McCowan this week on the House floor, offering his condolences to the loved ones left behind.
McCowan was known for being a loving man and a brave officer. His family was the light of his life, Mr. Speaker, and he loved them dearly. His fellow deputies knew that they could count on Deputy McCowan when he was serving alongside them. One of his colleagues described him as one of those guys you always wanted on your side.
Congressman Burchett also praised the efforts of Blount County Sheriff James Barong and the other law enforcement officers, including U.S. Marshals, who helped capture the suspect so he can be brought to justice. In other news, we are your local election headquarters, and if you want a head start on making your voice heard, you can do it at the polls now. The early voting period is open until February 27th for the presidential primary and county primary elections. Here in Knox County, 2 new locations are open for the early voting period. One at Clear Springs Baptist Church on Tazewell Pike near Emory Road. The other in the Farragut area at the West Knox Senior Center. Election day itself is on March 5th, and if you're looking to get an absentee ballot, you better hurry. You only have until the 27th to get the ballot and mail it back in. Just head to our website, wate.com, for a look at a sample ballot before you head to the polls and the list of polling locations. We now know the names of 2 people found dead last week in the Chuckey community of Greene County. They are Roberta Welch Peters and Thomas Welch. Sheriff Wesley Holt says the 2 were mother and son. That discovery happening along Choctaw Drive. Welch Peters was found inside the home on Thursday. Her son found in the woods behind the house on Friday. We do not yet know how they died, but the investigation obviously is not over yet. We'll let you know as we get new answers. A Kingston man headed to federal prison for more than 12 years for child pornography. Prosecutors say he worked as an IT administrator at Y-12 National Security Complex with top security clearance. 64-year-old Doc Edward Hoylman pleaded guilty to having and distributing child pornography. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, a search of Hoylman's home in August of 2022 turned up more than a dozen images and 24 videos. Hoylman, according to the Justice Department, had recently retired from Army Cyber Command before going to work at Y-12. His 151-month prison sentence will be followed by 10 years of supervised release. Knoxville police say there have been at least 3 reported road rage incidents so far this year. That's compared to 24 in the entire year of 2023. Road rage, of course, can be dangerous, if not deadly. To avoid being part of the problem, authorities have some suggestions. First, they say practice safe driving, then consider leaving home a little early so you're not in a rush. Knoxville police also say stay relaxed and avoid aggressive behavior, along with giving other drivers some grace, and be sure to report erratic driving. The Tennessee football team just announced the date for this year's Orange and White game, the spring game, coming up April 13th at 1 o'clock at Neyland Stadium. But we do have some disappointing news. Only a limited number of tickets will be available because of ongoing renovations at the stadium. UT is limiting the game to 10,000 people because we're told the stadium's south end, west side, and upper north end will be blocked off this spring. We're told tickets for the game will go on sale a week from today, February 21st. General admission tickets are $10 or $15 for upgraded seats in the Lower West Club.